Hello everyone, we're in Lower Ballinderry and behind me there's an old Moravian church. I'm not sure how old the building is, but it's very old. I'm not even sure if they still have meetings here or not. I'm not even sure what the Moravian church stands for nowadays, but many years ago the Moravian church was a force for God and a force for good and a force for the gospel. In fact, it's the oldest Protestant denomination in the world. It has its origins with the Czech reformer Jan Hus, or John Huss, who was converted from Roman Catholicism and had a burden to share the Word of God. That was just before really the times of Luther, and it's really the beginning of the Moravian movement. But the movement really gained ground and gained power in the 1700s. A famous count, Ludwig von Zinzendorf, became a Christian, and with his conversion his life was radically transformed and radically changed. He became a great man of God and absolutely consecrated and surrendered himself to the work of Christ. In Germany, in Herrnhut, he opened a commune, if you like, for persecuted Moravians all across that part of Europe. And Moravians from all arts and parts met together in Herrnhut. But with that there came disunity. Personalities got in the way and different things like that. And in 1727, Zinzendorf preached a sermon on the necessity of unity amongst the blood-bought people of God. And there was a brokenness that came into the camp in Herrnhut. People confessed their sins, made reconciliation, and that was the dawn of a great revival. And during that time there were believers who covenanted that they would meet together in Herrnhut every day for prayer. And more people joined that prayer meeting, and there became a continual chain of intercession. Some would stay for a while, others would leave, but there was always people there continually interceding. And believe it or not, that prayer meeting lasted for over 100 years, the 100-year prayer meeting in Herrnhut. And through that prayer meeting, many people were called to missionary work and missionary endeavour, and it really spawned a great missionary enterprise. And the story's told of two German Moravians who were burdened for an island in the West Indies. And the only way to get onto the island was to sign your life over and become a slave. And it meant you would never come home again. It meant your life would be cut short, your life expectancy maybe something like 3 or 4 years. But these men were so broken, so burdened, that the people in that island in the West Indies and other slaves would hear the gospel, that they left their wealthy backgrounds, they signed their lives over, and they were never seen or heard of again. But as they got onto a boat and sailed down the River Rhine, their family standing on the sides of the river, broken-hearted, knowing that they would never see their loved ones until at last they got to heaven, one of those Moravian missionaries was heard to call out his last recorded words: "May the Lamb in the midst of the throne receive all the glory due his sufferings on Calvary's cross." Now, it's a little bit like Acts chapter 20 and verse 24, where the Apostle Paul says, "But none of these things move me, neither count I my life dear unto myself." So many lessons that we can learn today about prayer, evangelism, consecration, commitment and surrender. And I wonder, will you give your life to prayer? Will you give your life to witnessing to the lost? Will you surrender all that you have, or do you count your life to be dear unto yourself? May God bless you, and thank you for joining us.